you have lowered your standards. Why have you lowered your standards? Perhaps it might be a relationship. Why have you lowered your standards? Are you afraid that you might not find someone else? But remember, the longer you stay in this vacuum, the longer you stay in this empty space. Do you see, guys, the empty space that is there? I don't know if you can see it, but do you see this? The longer you stay here, the more damage that is being done to you. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Welcome yet again, guys, to yet another episode where today we are going to be discussing a topic that says why you feel like you don't fit in, why you feel like you don't belong, and it is time to move on. That is our topic for today, guys. Why you don't feel like you belong to a certain place. Have you ever been in a certain group and you feel to yourself, you know what? I don't think I belong in this group that I'm in today. I don't think I belong in this particular area that I'm in. Perhaps you've been feeling that way. That's why you clicked this video, to understand why you don't feel like you belong in certain areas, why you feel like you don't belong in certain groups. Guys, we are going to answer that question in this episode. Now, for us to answer that question of why you feel like you don't belong, I am going to give you a scenario. Right. So right here I have a pen, right? This is one of the most brilliant pens you ever find in your life. One of the most brilliant pens. I don't know what you're going to say, but guys, it is what it is. This is one of the most brilliant pens you ever find. And then also on the other hand, I have this thing right here. Right? I have these two things right here. I have this thing on the left and I also have this thing on the right. Now this is for the lip and this is a pen. Now guys, I want you to look at this, right? If I take this pen, okay, let's put this thing right here where you can see it. Oh, can you see it? Can you see it? Okay. So let's take this pen, right? If I take this pen and I fit it in this clip, what happens? It's going to fit perfectly, right? But if I take out this pen from the clip and I take out this lip clip and I try to fit in the pen, what happens? Does it go in or it stays out? We can clearly see, guys, that the pen actually goes in. The pen goes in and it sits like this. Although this is not the original clip of the pen, it can represent as the clip of the pen because the pen is actually going in, right? And we can testify, guys, that actually, as you can see, guys, I don't know, let me show you the width of this thing. You can see it very well. And if you look at this one as well, you can see the clear difference that the other one is a bit big. Okay, let me put it this way. I don't know, let me just for one more time, just in case you can't see. You can see for the pen is small and for this one, it's a bit big. Now, the reason why this is big is because it's to fit the lip balm or the lip gloss. I don't know what you want to call it, but the name of this thing, guys, is called Labello. But the reason why this is big is because it has to fit this, because it was designed to fit in this thing. Me trying to fit the pen here, oh, the wrong one. Me trying to fit the pen here, the pen might go in, but it doesn't belong here. Although it is going to get in, but it will not belong because as you can see, guys, there's so much space. Although it can fit in, it doesn't belong. And if there's friction, what's going to happen? It's going to fall out because it doesn't belong there. If I also take this clip of the pen and I try to put it here, it's going to go inside, guys, and it's not going to hold the lip thing well. So if I try to shake that, we can clearly see that this thing is going to fall out. Now, what am I trying to say to you today? Most of us, we are like the pen. We are trying to fit into where we don't belong. And you know, guys, the trick about all of this is that you will fit in, but you will not stand. Because remember, you were not designed to what? To fit in this type of clip. Your clip that you are designed to fit in is this one. So when you are in a certain environment, guys, you feel the friction. You feel that actually there's something that is wrong here. You know, there's just something that is off. You've lowered your standards. You've tried to fit in where you don't belong. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be your life experiences, whatever it is, guys, whatever activity that you feel like you don't belong in, you know very well what it is, right? You're feeling friction and you're saying, no, man, why is it when I jump, when I try to jump, I can feel that there's friction. But if I am here in the pen clip, if I try to jump, you see what happens, guys? There's no movement because it fits in perfectly. The reason why you don't feel like you belong, guys, is because you actually don't belong, right? The reason why you feel like you don't belong is because you don't belong in the place that you are in. You've lowered your standards. You've put yourself in a place that you are not supposed to be in. Can I repeat that, guys? The reason why you don't feel like you belong is because you have put yourself in a place where you don't belong in the first place. A pen feels like it belongs here, but the moment I put it in this thing, guys, it's not going to belong. Although it can stay for a certain period of time, but it is not going to remain there forever because, guys, remember, wherever there's friction, it will move because it will remember, guys, that I am not fitting in perfectly into this environment that I've been put in. And this is the same thing with you. The reason why you don't belong or you feel like you don't belong is because, guys, you don't belong. So you don't have to try and justify yourself and say, but I can feed, man. I can feed. Like, it's not really that bad. Like, yeah, I can get hold of this environment that I'm in. Guys, it is that bad. You need to find where you belong. Even the Bible says, do not be conformed to the patterns and behaviors of this world, right? Do not be conformed to that. You have lowered your standards. You have lowered your standards. You know very well that I should be here, but I've decided to perhaps camp right here. And you're now starting to feel the friction and you think to yourself, this is not where I belong. And that's the message I have for you today, guys, that the reason why you feel like you don't belong, it's because you have put yourself in a place where you don't belong. We are not going to comfort each other, guys, and say, maybe it's not that bad. You need to try out, stay in a bit longer and everything like that. But the reason why you have that initial feeling in the first place is because you know very well that I'm not actually supposed to be in this environment. And that's the message I just wanted to leave with you today, guys, that as we close, the reason why you don't belong is because you have put yourself in a place where you don't belong. You have lowered your standards. Why have you lowered your standards? Perhaps it might be a relationship. Why have you lowered your standards? Are you afraid that you might not find someone else? But remember, the longer you stay in this vacuum, the longer you stay in this empty space. Do you see, guys, the empty space that is there? I don't know if you can see it, but do you see this? The longer you stay here, the more damage that is being done to you, because the lower and lower and lower and lower and lower that you're going to keep on going. It is time to move on. Wherever you are, whatever circumstance that you're in, it is time to move on. Don't set your standards low and don't set the bar low. You have high standards, man. Why decide to settle for less? Are you afraid? What are you afraid of, guys? Might it be someone that you're afraid to lose? But guys, I want to ask you a question. Do you even know if you're going to be alive tomorrow? You don't know that for certain, that you're going to be alive tomorrow. So therefore, if you're not even sure if you're going to be alive tomorrow, why then do you keep striving in life? You don't even know if you're going to be alive in the next 5 years. You don't know if you're going to be alive next week, but every day you wake up, You wake up, you put in the work, Why not just give up and say, you know what, since I don't know if I'm going to be alive next week, I might as well just give up, because there's no guarantee that I'm going to be there next week. I might as well just give up and sit back and relax. Why don't you just do that? You don't do that. You keep on working even though there's no certainty that you are going to be there next week. So why have you decided to settle in a place where you feel like you don't belong because you're afraid to lose the things that you have accumulated in that environment, or afraid to lose that specific person? Why? Why set low standards for yourself? One man said, be lenient with others, but be strict with yourself. The reason why you feel like you don't belong is because you don't belong where you have decided to belong. It is time to move on. I hope this message gets to you and gets you to move from being here, this clip, to putting yourself where you belong. Until next time, ciao.